Hello students, welcome back on my channel. Today we will study class 12 chapter 3rd NCERT exercise questions from question number 9 to question number 13. So please watch the video till the end. First, that is ninth question that we will consider into this lecture. Determine the current in each branch of the network shown in figure. This is the given figure of this question. We have to find out the current in each branch of this network. The required solution of this question is, this is a 10 volt EMF and then 10 ohm resistance is connected. After then there is a network of parallel and some series combination. Suppose this is I current which is flows from GA, and then at this junction the current is divided into I1 and I2. This is the current I1 in the branch AB and current I2 in the branch AD. Now at B the current is furthermore divided into BD and BC. Suppose the current into BD is I3, then the current into BC branch is I1 minus I3. This is the current which is coming I1 and then it is divided into I3. So the current in the branch BC remains I1 minus I3. The current in the branch CD is I2 plus I3. Because the current I2 is coming and I3 also added into it, and the current will become I2 plus I3. And the current into the branch CF is I. Now we have to find out the current in each branch by applying the Kirchhoff's law. For loop ABDA, this is the loop ABDA. For same direction current positive and for opposite direction current negative. For loop ABDA, this is the current, this is the direction of the loop and this direction of the current from AB to BD, but it is in the opposite direction in the branch AD. So we take 10 I1 plus 5 I3 because same direction with the loop, same direction, but this is opposite direction. Loop is going into this direction and current is coming into this direction. So minus 5 I2 equal to 0 by applying the Kirchhoff's law. For loop BCDB, BCDB, 5 I1 minus I3, because 5 is the resistance and I1 minus I3 is the current into the branch BC. Then this loop is going into this direction, but the current into the branch DC is in the opposite direction. So we take negative sign, minus 10 I2 plus I3, and then this direction is also opposite to the direction of the loop. So this will also minus, subtract from this, minus 5 I3 equal to 0. Similarly for the loop ADCFGA, this is the direction of the loop. This will add up 5 I2 plus 10 I2 plus I3 and then plus 10 I1 plus I2 equal to 10. We find three equations from there. This is equation first, this is equation second, and this is equation third. By solving the three equations, we can calculate the value of I1, I2, I3. I1 is 4 upon 17 ampere, I2 is 6 upon 17 ampere, I3 is minus 2 upon 17 ampere. Now the current in branch AB, that is I1, current in branch BC I1 minus I3, current in branch CD I2 plus I3, current in branch AD I2, current in branch BD I3. By putting all the values, we can calculate the value of current in each branch, and the total current, that is I, is equal to I1 plus I2. This will equal to 10 upon 17 ampere. This is the required solution of this question. Now going to the next question, that is question number 10. 10th question is, first part of this question, in a meter bridge, the balance point is found to be at 39.5 cm from the end A. This is the question that is related to Wheatstone or the meter bridge. When the resistor Y is of 12.5 ohm, determine the resistance of X. We have to find the value of resistance of the X. Why are the connections between the resistors in a Wheatstone or meter bridge made of thick copper strips? Second part is, determine the balance point of the bridge above if X and Y are interchanged. Third point is, what happens if the galvanometer and cell are interchanged at the balance point of the bridge? Would the galvanometer show any current? Solution of this question is, the solution of 10th question, this is given into the question, value of L at which the Wheatstone bridge is balanced or the balance point. R that is equal to X is equal to 7, S is equal to Y that is equal to 12.5 ohm. We have to find the value of R, that is the value of the X. R equal to X, that we have to find out. This is question mark. By applying the formula S equal to 100 minus L upon L into R. By putting the value of S, L, we can calculate the value of R, that is equal to 8.16 ohm. Now the second part of this question is, we have to find out the balance point if we interchange the value of R and S. Now R is equal to 12.5 and S is equal to 8.16 ohm. Then the value of L is, by putting all the values into the formula again, we can calculate the value of L, that will be equal to 60.5 ohm. The third point of this question is, how is the galvanometer reading affect if the S and R are interchanged? The galvanometer reading show no diffraction because after interchanging the value of S and R, the balance point will also change. At the balance point, the galvanometer shows no diffraction. Now the 11th question is, a storage battery of EMF 8 volt and internal resistance 0.5 ohm is being charged by a 120 volt DC supply using a series resistor of 15.5 ohm. What is the terminal voltage of the battery during charging? What is the purpose of having a series resistor in the charging circuit? We have to find out the terminal voltage. The net EMF into this question is 120 minus 8, that is equal to 112 volt. Why we do this? Because 8 is the initial EMF that is given, so the net EMF will remains 112 volt only. We have to calculate the value of I, that will can calculate from the formula epsilon upon R plus R, that is equal to 7 ampere. Then we have to calculate the value of terminal voltage V, that is equal to epsilon plus IR. By putting the value, we can calculate the terminal voltage, that is equal to 11.5 volt. Now the 11th question is completed. The 12th question is, in a potentiometer arrangement, a cell of EMF 1.25 volt gives a balance point at 35 cm length of the wire. If the cell is replaced by another cell and a balance point shifts to 63 cm, what is the EMF of the second cell? This is the question of the potentiometer arrangement. E1 is 1.25 volt, L1 is 35 cm, L2 is 63 cm. Then what is the value of E2? Epsilon. By applying the formula that we obtain from potentiometric derivation, that is epsilon 2 upon epsilon 1 is equal to L2 upon L1. By putting all the values, we can calculate the value of epsilon 2, that is equal to 2.25 volt. This is the EMF when we are using the second cell. Now the 13th question is, the number density of free electrons in a copper conductor estimated in example 3.1 is. This is the value of N. How long does an electron take to drift from one end of a wire 3 meter long to its other end? The area of the cross section of the wire is 2 into 10 power minus 6 meter square and it is carrying a current of 3 ampere. What we have to find? We have to find the value of Vd and then we have to calculate its time. The solution of this question is, this is the value of n that is given, L, A, E and I. By applying the formula of Vd, that is drift velocity, that is equal to I upon NEA. From here we can calculate the value of Vd, that is 1.1 into 10 power minus 4 meter per second. Now the value of the time, that is t, we can get this formula, speed equal to distance upon time. By putting t at here and Vd into the denominator, we can get this formula, t equal to L upon Vd. By putting the value of L and Vd, the time is 2.7 into 10 power 4 second. Thank you for watching the video. Please like, share and subscribe my channel.